Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to break down all of the latest content in Hockey Ultimate Team, as well as discuss what to do with some of the more popular X Factors that are more than likely not going to get Team of the Year, as Team of the Year nominees were released, and we know that they are going to come on Friday. And if you haven't seen that, go check my latest video, as it will cover all of the nominees and information you need to know. So let's jump into it, all the relevant content that came out today in Hockey Ultimate Team. Alright, so we'll start with the Play of the Year, Connor Bedard, for his unbelievable overtime win against Slovakia, as Slovakia put up a hell of a fight in the quarterfinals of the World Juniors, but Connor Bedard continues to impress and prove that he is legit the best player in the world that isn't in the NHL right now. He's got Dangle City, which is probably the worst synergy in the game, or one of them, and Puck on a String. Too expensive for what it does, in my opinion, but he's got 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 94 agility, and his shot is 95 essentially across the board, as well as his deking at 98. This is essentially a budget version of the 90 overall Patrick Kane Master Set player that came out for the Nations of Hockey event, the flashback version. And obviously you can't get that card anymore. This would be a fine alternative, as Connor Bedard cards start to get pretty interesting in Hockey Ultimate Team. Also want to touch on some of the other World Junior Prime Times that came out, starting with Slovakia's 85 overall Servac Petrovsky, 5'11", 177 with Protector. Always pay attention to these cards, guys, especially if you're new to the game and you just started around Christmas time. These are the cards that can have insane value for you, because the way that they work when they receive a prime time is they get boosted all the way up from, like, let's say 70 overall essentially, and what happens is they just throw on 15 overall to their attributes, and what ends up happening is a few of them end up being 99 or close to it. So 88 speed, 88 acceleration is okay, but it's 95 agility, 96 shot power is very, very good. So if you are looking for a cheap left-handed winger, I wouldn't play him at center. You could at 85 on the draw, but this could be a decent one for, again, bargain bin price. Gonna absolutely butcher this name, but the 86 Gabriel SZTURC from Czechia with Magician maxes out his agility, again that 99, because they're just throwing on attributes from whatever they were at the base of the game. 99 shot power and 88 on the draws, so definitely a little bit better there. Again, for just starting the game, these are the cards that you want to look out for, because they're going to go for basically the cheapest of what 86s are, and that can be some decent value for you. We've got some new icons with the 86 Jay Bouwmeester, always a very good HUT card. 6'4", 206 with applesauce, which is not something that I would try and activate. Seeing Eye, I've found it to be pretty useful if you take wrist shots from the .4 tips. Again, if you're screened, it's like the goalie doesn't move left and right. He's got 89 speed, which is fine, and especially because he's 6'4". This is definitely a cheaper card that for players that are very good at the game. Let's say you're Division 1 and 2, but you just started out and you're trying to build your team. You're going to need cards that can bump people off the puck, because you're going up against opponents that are going to hold on to it in your defensive zone for a long time. So again, if you're in the higher divisions, this could be a really playable card. Even if you're not, I think 87 acceleration is on the low end of what I would look for now, but 89 is okay. And again, 6'4", I saw him going for about 20,000 coins right now, and that's a fine price to pay. Next up, we've got the GOAT from NHL 22, the 89 Keith PRIMEAU, 6'5", 220 with Spark and Big Tipper. This is, again, same situation as Bouwmeester. This is a pure Division 1 player, because at 86 speed, it's very hard to defend the rush, and in the lower divisions, most of your plays are going to be back and forth as opposed to holding onto the puck for a long time in the lower divisions. So, again, this is probably for that higher division player, but he's got 90 faceoffs, and center is the position where you can sacrifice speed the most, just because you're probably going to break the puck out with your wingers. He's got 94 body checking with Spark on. Very good defensively. This is a great centerman build if you can overcome the skating, obviously. From this year's Winter Classic, we've got the 87 Jake DeBrusk getting a prime time for, I believe, his 2 goals in that game. Gladiator in close quarters. Great superstar ability and synergy, in my opinion. 88 speed, 88 acceleration. Again, for anyone that's just starting out the game, 88 speed is probably the cutoff what you'd want. There's a lot of other players that have higher skating, but the reason why is that you're going to go up against players that have been playing since launch, and most of them are going to have players that are all above 90. So 88 is probably the lowest that I would go. Again, it depends on the build and the player type. Like Keith PRIMEAU is fine being a little bit slower, but all around, not a bad card if you're looking for a left-handed winger. Always an early game gem, the 83 Kasperi Kapanen from Pittsburgh also gets a prime time with Light the Lamp, close quarters, same thing. Close quarters is one of the better abilities. 92 speed, 92 acceleration at 83 overall will definitely currently playing, including the fact these 6'1" captain cards are always some of the best budget cards to go after when you're first building your team. Some other prime times for the weekend, including the 87 Claude Giroux from the Ottawa Senators. Always a very good early game centerman card. He has Thief as well, which is a great synergy, not just for centerman. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, high 80s, low 90s shot. His hand stats are all above 90. And then that 93 face-off rating, 91 defensive awareness. Again, if you are just starting the game, these are the kind of cards you want to look for because it's going to be very tough to find a decent skating centerman that has a good face-off rating. We also got the 89 overall Trevor Zegras, and I swear, they just, whenever they release a bunch of cards or prime times, they just put all of the same superstar abilities on them. But nonetheless, 90 speed, 90 acceleration all alone is a pointless ability. He's got a very good wrist shot as well, and his hand stats are all above 94. If you are someone that does a lot of deking, maybe you came from playing a lot of World of Chell, this is going to be a very good card for you to try out. Gladiator helps a little bit with his low body checking, but you're probably not going to use him for that. And he is a pure left-handed winger with an 81 face-off rating. We also have the 89 Jesper Bratt from the New Jersey Devils with Thief. This is a winger card, obviously. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 92 agility, and a 90 shot as well. Very, very well rounded if you are looking for a left-handed winger that is not going to break the bank at 89 overall. And then we've got the 90 overall primetime Victor Hedman, and this is where I want to discuss some of the X factors and what you want to pay attention to going forward. He's got Bombarded and Thunderclap, which are awful ability and synergy combo. I mean, I guess used in tandem, it's a little bit, but both of them are not very good at all. 88 speed, 88 acceleration at 6'6" is definitely good. You are going to pay an awful lot for Victor Hedman because of that. 95 defensive awareness, 92 body checking. He is an extremely good card. Now, this is why I want to talk about his X factor, however, because he is slowly going to start becoming extremely expensive, and his skating is just not going to go up at all. So he did get the 90 overall with that primetime release, and just to point out that he did get a speed upgrade going from 89 to 90, which means that when he goes to 91, speed only goes up by 0.5 every tier, so his next tier, he will not receive a skating upgrade. So when he hits 91, you are going to pay the full price, which I believe is going to be about 4 collectibles, possibly 3, which is about a 75,000 coin cost to not go up any skating. Now, right now, at 6'6" with gold stick him up, this is an incredible card. But what'll happen is, because he's not going to win Team of the Year, more than likely, you're going to see a lot of other Victor Hedman cards come out, or just any sort of other big defenseman that are going to be cheaper to make and not have to maintain. X Factors become extremely expensive. When he gets up to, let's say, his 95, he's more than likely only going to be 90 speed. And while that isn't all that bad when you consider other 95s that are going to be out by that point, it's just not worth the price and cost. I'd much rather just buy whatever the highest Victor Hedman card is, as opposed to investing all of the collectibles to get him all the way up. I also want to point out, guys, now that Team of the Year is coming, this is when we saw a massive flux in the X Factor market for just X Factors in general, because people start to realize that, well, when they don't win Team of the Year, X Factors become extremely expensive to keep going once they're past 90 overall, essentially, and they tanked in price. So you're still going to see a couple 100,000 for all of these X Factors, but what happens is the ones that don't win Team of the Year, again, they are going to fall pretty quickly. I would expect by February, they're going to be a fraction of what they are right now. So if I had a bunch of tradable X Factors, let's say Artemi Panarin, he's not going to win Team of the Year, I would sell him. Try and get rid of him now before people just start to bail out, because at some point, they'd probably rather just have a better one that has a better ability. Like, when the prime times and Team of the Weeks come out, a lot of them just have better abilities than the X Factor counterpart. Take Alex Ovechkin, for example. He's a great card just because of his build. However, his milestone master set player is just far and away better, and it's going to cost you about the same to buy the X Factor and get him all the way up to max. So just something to keep in mind going forward. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.